Hatch, evolve, and upgrade powerful space creatures in this action-packed sci-fi third-person shooter that reinvents the monster taming genre. Nintendo, please do not come for Voidling Bound because this game is really fun. Happy release day to Voidling Bound. This game is really fun. I've been waiting for this game for a while, but I've been able to play it over the past week or so. So shout out to the folks over at Pirate PR for sending me a review key to talk about this game today, because it is a really fun game, really fun take on the monster taming genre. So let's talk about what you do in Voidling Bound. There are two different gameplay modes, and starting off with the first and more straightforward one, that you are a space wrangler. Essentially, you are going around from planet to planet and you are trying to cleanse this corruption and bonding with all the different creatures called the Voidlings. So you take them back and you raise them, and then you send them out into your missions and you mind meld with them, and you actually get to be the Voidlings in combat. There are a couple of mission types that you do get to choose from, one being maybe clearing out a zone, clearing out all the corruption, and also surviving a wave of enemies. And at the end of each mission type, you do have to fight a boss, which is essentially a larger version of a regular enemy. And the enemy types range from maybe like a robot to something called legions, which is more like a corrupted alien, and there's some other factions that you interact with later on in the game. And each mission increases in level difficulty. If you lose, you actually can retry pretty quickly since you already have the mission queued up. And once you succeed, you are rewarded with a number of different research points, and you will also get a number of different gene tokens that you can then take back to your ship and use on the Voidlings for their evolution. You can also collect eggs that will vary in rarity, that will affect the initial stats of each Voidling as you get back to your ship as well. Which leads me into the main core mechanic of Voidling Bound, and the reason why this game is really fun and really why I enjoy this game a lot is actually managing all the Voidlings, managing their evolutions, and managing how many Voidling types that you have. So once you get back to the base, you are able to hatch all the eggs that you have, and then they come out in your vivarium. There are 8 Voidling species that you interact with in total, but there's seemingly no limit to how many you can have at one time. A bunch of them that can be on a number of different pages that will be in your sanctuary, but you'll be able to have 8 that will show up in your vivarium live, so you can go in, you can pet them, you can see what they look like, and you just enjoy them just hanging out doing their cute little Voidling things. So that's really fun. And like I said, my favorite part of this game is getting to evolve all the different Voidlings. So there are a couple ways that you can do this. You can use the research points that you've gathered from each of the missions that you've completed and increase the base ability stats of each of the Voidlings. Each Voidling has a primary, secondary, defensive, melee, and an ultimate attack, and there are numerous trees to go down to increase their damage, increase their range, increase their effectiveness, increase the way that they interact with the enemies as well. There are some broken abilities you can get. There's a Voidling that I've been talking about with other creators that have been pretty broken for one of the Voidlings. If you know the Voidling I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, but I'm probably showing it on the screen right now that there's a Voidling that is pretty busted and kind of carry you through the entirety of the game. And you can use those different gene tokens to evolve the Voidlings down different elemental states like organic, pyro, cryo, and cyber, and there are literally hundreds of combinations of each Voidling to go down. So you want to experiment and kind of craft your own different version of a Voidling. You can go into the Voidling encyclopedia, you can see how many different versions of that particular Voidling that you can get. It changes the way that their primaries, their secondaries, and their ultimates, and even their defensive abilities and their melee abilities affect each enemy type. And you want to have a number of different Voidlings, even if they are of the same species. You want to make sure you have the different elemental stats, because enemies are weak to certain type of elements. And then also each Voidling has their own stats like vitality, strength, essence, regeneration, all that stuff that can be increased through each level. Voidlings gain levels through XP in combat, but you will be able to unlock a gem early on to increase the levels that way. So you use research points and you throw your Voidlings into the gem, and then as you complete missions and you come back with the main Voidling, you'll have another level upgrade for your other Voidlings. Pretty cool management system that you're able to go out with one Voidling, get experience that way, and then you have multiple different Voidlings that are being trained, so then you can then take them out into the harder mission. And I find that was really easy, really great for streamlining the process, because it would make this game a lot more grindy if I did. And I really like the idea of being in control of my own evolutions. Unlike a Pokemon or any other monster taming game that has a specific monster that has a specific track that it goes down, you have complete control of the evolutions of all the Voidlings. There's a lot of variety in the way that the Voidlings go down through the different elemental trees, but I can't really say that much about the different different mission types. So there's a couple of them, but there's not a whole lot of variety. The real variety comes in taking the different Voidlings on that same mission type to kind of experiment with their ability, to see how effective they are against the enemies, and to see how they move around the environment. So that's really the main variety, is using the Voidlings. So you can see that the devs took their time more on the Voidlings than more on the mission types. Not to say that the mission types are bad. There's actually more of an in-game mission type. It's called the Abyss. If you play test this game, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You can dive in, you can see how far you can take your Voidling. It's almost like a roguelike mode, to be specific. So you have that there, but again, there's not a whole lot of variation between the mission types. The enemies are extremely aggressive, especially early on, and you can lead to a lot of early deaths, and you can feel overwhelmed. It always felt like I had to be at least a couple levels above the recommended mission level just so I could get through it and actually just make my way through it and get what I need to get the resources that I need. But I forgot to mention that even if you do lose in a mission, you do get to keep all the resources that you gather. I do wish that you had the ability to have multiple different Voidlings out on one mission. Maybe if it has come up, I will update this video or update it in a comment or so, but as of right now, I do not have the ability to take different Voidlings out. Right now, you only have the ability to mind meld with one Voidling, take them out, and just swap them out for another one. But hopefully at some point, we'll get the ability to have multiple different Voidlings out there in the field. But overall, I think Voidling Bound is a really fun game. If you are into the creature collection genre, this is definitely a game you need to check out. This one would be for you. I'd be curious to know, if you're playing Voidling Bound already, what is your favorite Voidling? What is the more busted combinations that you found? The name of the game is to create the best Voidling possible through gene manipulation and also breeding as well. So let me know what kind of Voidling that you came up with, and let me know its ability type and what you're doing to complete these missions in Voidling Bound. Check it out now. There's a demo available if you're not sure about the game, but definitely check out Voidling Bound if this is something that you're interested in. Thank you again, Pirate PR, for providing me with a review code again. I'm going to continue to play Voidling Bound because it's a lot of fun. And if you want to see more videos that I have on the channel, I'm going to be talking a lot about demos, because Steam Next Fest is just around the corner and we got so many summer showcases. There's so many things happening. We're in full swing of Hot Gamer Summer, and I am so excited because there's a lot of announcements, a lot of gaming to be had, and I want to get right in there in the mix of it. So be sure to check that out. Thanks again for watching. My name is Chike, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.